Okay, let's try this again. Hello everyone, welcome to my Goodbye to Windows 7 video. It is April the 29th, 2015, and today is when Microsoft Windows 10 allegedly comes out. Now, I actually did a video on the side where I actually took Microsoft quite literally, but the video didn't exactly come out right, so I'm doing this again. But blah 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 blah. We are all familiar with all this stuff. This get Windows 10 crap. So this video is more or less me trying to show off my upgrade experience from Windows 7 to Windows 10. This first video is hopefully going to render here because I've actually had problems. As you can see here, it's going disco. I'm sorry for everyone who has seizures for that. Alright, let's delete that because it's doing no good. But anyway, yeah, Windows 10. Well, it's supposed to release today. I actually, like I said, took Microsoft Windows quite literally, and that video I just tossed out was supposed to be me taking a nice stab at Microsoft Windows. Didn't quite work out because first of all the video did not render properly, and second of all the update did not show. Yeah, this video is basically going to be my retrospective of Microsoft Windows, what I think about past versions, what I thought about Microsoft Windows 7, and me transitioning over to Windows 10. I'm deciding to break this up now since I do not know how this is going to record. But hopefully with any luck this will render properly and we can move on to the next section of the video where I discuss my past history with Microsoft Windows, and hopefully by then the upgrade process will start to occur. So see you in a little bit with any luck. Okay, I'm finally able to download Windows 10. It took me a while. I had to go into this folder, local disk, Windows, software distribution, download, and remove all the files from this location. There was a video I was watching on YouTube, which clued me in on how to do this. Let me go into my history here. And they actually were commenting on how to get this work. I got an error code trying to upgrade to Windows 10, and I watched this video. And I went to that directory that they suggested, and in command prompt, what I had to do is go to command prompt and type in this command here. It is wuauclt.exe /updatenow, and after I entered that, it actually started the upgrade process. But yeah, that was a little bit strange. I basically had to go to this location here in my file manager, remove everything, type in that command, and boom, here it is. Windows 10 is now installing and downloading. So that's a very good thing. So now that I'm actually able to install Windows 10, let me go through my past history with Microsoft Windows. I started using computer around maybe 1999, 2000-ish, when my family moved into a new house away from my old one that I used to live with my grandmother in. And there we got a computer. It had Windows 98, I believe. We didn't have that computer too long because it wasn't so much longer after we got it that we found out that Microsoft was going to phase out Windows 98 and was going to put in Windows XP. So around 2001, 2002-ish, we got a Hewlett-Packard computer, and that's my first experience with Windows XP. That computer we didn't have too long because it was some sort of hardware error of some kind. After that, we got a e-machine, believe it or not, with one of those nasty Bestech power supplies, but it didn't blow up right away. It actually lasted us about 3 or 4 years or so before we had to replace it. And that's the kitty cat ringing his bell, by the way. After that, we started experiencing problems with that e-machine. Not due to the quality of the machine itself, because that computer was actually pretty good. Our problems came with Microsoft Windows Service Packs. Service Pack 1 was an utter disaster. We reinstalled Windows, and then Service Pack 2 came around, and we had to reinstall Windows. Yeah, it seems like our experience right back then was very disastrous for Microsoft Windows Service Packs. When I decided to get my own computer around 2005, 2006-ish, I decided not to install Microsoft Windows in it, not to keep, XP in that. I've had so many different problems with XP. In fact, it's during that time where I actually started experimenting with Linux and started teaching myself how to use a computer more properly. It was actually out of necessity with all the problems we've had with Microsoft Windows is why I actually took it upon myself to actually learn this stuff, learn how to use a computer, how to operate on one, and so I got a Hewlett-Packard, another Hewlett-Packard, and that was actually a very good computer. I kept that around from 2005-ish to 2010, late 2010, so it had a good 5 years on it. But that computer did not have any Microsoft operating systems on it. I actually did have experience with Windows ME, and boy, I've never had a operating system crash that much before in my life. Microsoft Windows ME is probably the only operating system I've ever encountered that would just crash by just looking at it, or thinking about it, or just doing anything in general, except for just leaving it alone and sit in a corner somewhere. It was that bad. I also experienced Microsoft Windows 2000, which was actually very good. It's actually my favorite in the Microsoft Windows line because of how stable and solid it is. I didn't use it too long, but I've used it long enough to actually say that it was probably the best that Microsoft ever produced up until that time. So then came Windows Vista. I stayed away from Windows Vista. I know that a lot of people actually do like Windows Vista, and they're right to the opinions to have for that. I didn't use it too many times, but I seem to have liked it. It wasn't that terrible from my experiences, but I know that, it had that very nasty reputation to it, but it wasn't that terrible. So in 2010-ish, I built my machine that I have right now, and I elected to put Windows 7 on. I've heard Windows 7 was actually a vast improvement over Windows Vista, and it is. I've had Windows 7 since then, back and forth between this and Linux. I never got into Windows 8. I actually did try out the betas, and that was utterly horrible, and the final result was just as horrible, if not more so. There were just so many different mistakes and problems with Microsoft Windows 8, and 8.1 wasn't too much better. So it is a very good thing that Microsoft is coming up with Windows 10 as sort of a offering of, we want you back, we want your stuff, and I'm saying to myself, okay, again, offer it for free for 1 year, why not, put it on my computer, because, I want to give Microsoft another little chance here. I mean, why not? I mean, I may be mostly a pro Linux guy, but I figure, why not? There's nothing to gain, there's nothing to lose, just have a nice dual boot system again. So here's the conditions I'm running this on. Let me go start up Specky, as that is definitely going to take a long time to install. And I'll show you off the specs that I'm putting this on. and it's going to load up the information. Yes, operating system Windows 7 Professional 64-bit Surface Pack 1. Core i5, which is actually running a little bit hot because it did turn the air off. It was actually getting pretty cold in here. Had my air conditioner on, so I might put that on again here soon, so sorry if you don't like the noise. I have 12 gigs of dual channel DDR3. I have a Gigabyte motherboard. I have a Samsung monitor, basically TV. Intel integrated hardware for rendering graphics, so I have I'm running off of integrated graphics card here, which actually is very quite good. No complaints with that. It actually runs surprisingly well. I have 2 hard drives, one at Seagate, one at Western Digital, which is actually much older but still works quite well. I basically cloned Microsoft Windows 7 onto that, so if anything went wrong, I could have something to fall back on. I have 2 optical drives, and my audio is Intel Display audio, so nothing much special. For my software, I installed VLC, I put Clementine on here, I put SM Player on here, LibreOffice, so I could feel a little bit more home when I'm not using my Linux system, so I could feel a little bit more at home. So it's 93-94% complete. Hopefully this will start up here soon, and the upgrade process will start. I do have quite a few things on my computer. I do have Steam installed, and I actually have Team Fortress 2 to play on occasion. I have Handbrake, have Cam Studio, usual Microsoft stuff, LibreOffice. I'm recording this using Ice Cream Screen Recorder, which is actually very good. I have a Core Temp reader, which is actually very handy. I have a VideoMix for encoding. I have a few other things, like, as aforementioned, Specky Videoland. I'm using Panda Free Antivirus as my virus client, for scanning viruses and all that. I have Silverlight, Microsoft stuff, blah, blah, blah. I use Mercurium Reflect to clone my hard drive, which actually worked quite well. Yeah, I actually do have quite a setup here. Not exactly a gamer enthusiast, more like, your common everyday person, with the exception of using Microsoft Windows 7 Pro. I only got Microsoft Windows 7 Pro because actually at the time when I built this computer, it was actually cheaper than Windows Home. It was actually on sale on Newegg, and I said, you know what, why not? Why the heck not? So, currently it's prepping for installation. Let me turn on the fan because I'm starting to get hot. Again, I probably will turn on the air conditioner, so that's why in the first part of this video, you heard the air conditioner on. I actually did have that on because it was actually quite warm in here, and now it got cold. I turned it off, and I'm going to turn it back on again as soon as I can. Mainly to help with the CPU temperatures in my computer, since I live in a rather claustrophobic room, and it doesn't very much get cold in here. It often gets quite warm, and for the safety of myself and my hardware, I do like to keep things cold. Let me turn on my air conditioner. Be right back. Okay, turn the air conditioner back on. Sorry about that. But yeah, now it's preparing for its installation, which is very good. I'm actually really anticipating Windows 10. I really want to see what this can do for me. Because I'm coming from a Windows 7 user's perspective. I actually really like Windows 7. Could it be a lot better? Yeah, but in many respects, Windows 10 is a better version of Windows 7 from what I've used in the release candidates and all that. I actually did test this out on the side, and I was very impressed by what I saw, even as a Linux user. So, this would be a nice complement system. I've always found Windows 7 a little bit of a bog down when it came to being a side operating system to use alongside of Linux. It would often boot in quite slowly. I'm not using an SSD here, but still, that doesn't mean that Microsoft Windows has to be so freaking slow loading up. I use a non-SSD for my Linux install, and that runs circles around this. So, hopefully this will not take too much longer. It's to the quarter mark. I want to basically create this video as a personal experience of upgrading, and like I said, I did have that little issue where I had to clean out that folder out and insert that command. I will put that down in the description of the video, so if anybody else is having a problem with that, I will make that very clear in the video description. So we're just staring at a little green bar and waiting for that thing to fully fold up with green stuff. So hopefully that'll be here soon. I mean, it's gonna be a little bit. I understand. It's preparing my hardware and stuff like that for the new install. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That was me closing off one of my previous recordings. VLC had a little bit of a hiccup. I'm guessing it's because I'm upgrading to Windows 10. I'm not running too many operations at this time outside of screen recording and watching Windows 10 upgrade because I don't want this thing to get too bogged down. So we're just preparing for the installation, and hopefully we'll see some progress here. I'll cut the video off here and maybe resume after the preparation is over and show off the next phase of the process. It's probably going to be just as boring as this is, so see you then. I'm back. Yeah, that was actually much simpler than I thought it would be. At the end of that dialogue, there was a big button that said upgrade to Windows 10 now. I clicked on it, not knowing that it would immediately start the upgrade process. I thought I might have to go through a couple more steps. But no, it was just simple. Click here, upgrade now, boom, done. And let's see how long the upgrade process took me. Because I do have a video recording of when I actually started this. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm finally able to download Windows 10. Okay, so it was roughly 3:37, so it took about an hour for me to get this installed, upgraded, and all that after I clicked that upgrade to Windows 10 button. The upgrade process itself was actually quite painless. I'm actually very impressed by how quick and easy it actually was in the long term. I mean, yeah, it wasn't like entirely too fast. I mean, I still had to wait an hour before I could use my computer again, but that's actually quite average for a Microsoft Windows install anyway. So no points lost there for this. So yeah, now I'm using Windows 10 officially. Very, very good. Very good, easy upgrade process. Now, I'm actually not going to go into a full review of Windows 10, because, I do want to actually use it for a couple days and actually give it my full honest opinion as a final release. I know what I felt about it during the beta stages, but I actually did feel that Windows 10 was a step in the right direction. I mean, is it perfect? No, but I will say that the final product isn't too much different than the last version of Windows 10 I used in the test bed releases. I was in the Microsoft Insider program, so I was able to get early access to this, so I know exactly what's going on here long before I upgraded. So, if you really want to get my opinions right now, I will say that from what I know and ran in VirtualBox, because I actually did this initially on VirtualBox, is that Windows 10 is actually quite solid. It's actually quite well done. I mean, there are a few little quirks here and there that I will point out a little bit later, and if they're still here in the final, I will definitely point them out. But yeah, and, maybe in 1 or 2 days, I will actually give my full opinion on Windows 10. This video was more or less me saying goodbye to Windows 7 and saying hello to Windows 10. I actually have no idea how this is going to feel to me in a couple of days from now, because this is actually on a regular standard computer and not just inside a virtual machine. So real-world tests will actually be applied here, and I actually do want to give this a good fair chance before weighing in my full opinion. But the upgrade process itself was actually quite easy. It was pretty much straightforward. Download the upgrade after I had to finagle with a couple things, as I showed in the last section. That was really strange. Yeah, blah blah blah, I know, CCleaner. That was quite strange. I had to clear out that folder, enter a command, and that was the way I could get this working. I'm hoping that people who are having problems with that will actually pay attention to what I did, because if they don't follow it properly, they might actually mess up their system. I actually don't really recommend that method that I did. I just, used it because it seemed to work for other people. If you're not seeing the Microsoft Windows 10 upgrade right away, maybe you should contact Microsoft and actually consult them with a more official solution to this upgrade process, because they might actually release a patch for Windows 7 and Windows 8 to more directly upgrade to Windows 10 without needing to go through that rigmarole that I did. But regardless, yeah, still overall an easy process from Windows 7 to Windows 10. No complaints there, exception of the waiting time, but, it's kind of average for the waiting time. I've done waiting times where I, spent over 2 hours upgrading and installing the operating system, so, that's really nothing new to me. But yeah, I do hope that this video was somewhat informative for you, or somewhat entertaining. I can't do too much because, well, I'm recording this in the middle of the night, and I did just want to document my experience. I didn't want to, make, a comedy video or me just totally ripping Microsoft apart. I just wanted to give some honest opinions, and I will give my full honest opinion about Windows 10 here soon. Like I said, though, I do want to, actually use it for a few hours before actually rendering a full verdict. Anyhow, I'm gonna stop the video now, and I'll see you maybe, I'm gonna probably upload a video within the next week or so, like, August 5th. That seems to be a good, amount of time, a good week-long period between here and then, so I can give a full evaluation of this, but, yeah, I will see you then. I'm gonna stop the video right now, and, hope to see you.